Welcome back to NutriCenter. This is your host, Ryan McCullough, and today I'm joined by Haley Yarber. Haley is a soccer player at the University of Northern Alabama. Haley, what position do you play?
I play center back.
Nice. How many years have you been playing now?
3 years.
Awesome. Well, let's get started. I want to talk to you today about what your nutrition is like. I have several questions and it can go many different directions, so let's get into it. But first, can you briefly tell me what your season is like?
Well, we mainly play in the fall, like fall is our official season. And during the fall, we'll have practice Monday, pretty much every day of the week.
Yeah.
And then we have games on Fridays and Sundays. So we'll have an off day thrown in there every once in a while, but sometimes that's travel days. Sometimes it's an actual off day. But this year, our off day was supposed to be every Tuesday. And it was
Not so much, yeah.
Yeah.
How long are practices usually?
About 2 hours.
Yeah. What do the practices involve? A lot of running, I'm sure.
Well,
More skill.
during the fall, we'll start off with like the first 2 weeks will be preseason, and that's pretty much just all running and just trying to get back into it. But then when we get into season itself, it's a lot on formation and the technical side of stuff, skills. We don't do as much just like straight fitness during the fall, but like currently we're in our spring season, and spring season will be like 5 games max, just randomly. They don't count for anything. And
like tune-up games, essentially.
And we'll have practice Monday through Friday, off on the weekends. And it's pretty much just all get stronger, get fitter.
So the practices during the season are not as strenuous. How about your games? How long are the games usually?
90 minutes.
90 minutes. Is it usually any longer, or pretty much just like, I know sometimes with like timeouts and breaks and stuff, I don't know.
Well,
that makes it longer.
We'll have one 45-minute half, and there's no timeouts, there's no, if you can get stoppage time, if like there's an injury or something like that. Then we'll have a 10-minute halftime, and then back in for another 45 minutes.
Very nice.
And the only time you go far longer than that is for overtime.
How many games do you play like in a season?
In a season, just regular season, not counting if you make it to conference tournament, probably around 13, 14.
So my textbook mentions that surveys of female athletes suggest that energy take is often low, especially carbohydrate intake. Is there anything that you personally do to track energy intake or like intake of a particular macronutrient?
Well, I'm not very consistent with it. Every once in a while I'll be like, oh, I really need to get like watching my diet, and I'll do MyFitnessPal where it goes ahead, just put your weight, your height, all this stuff, how active you are, and it counts your macros for you. But I don't know, I'll stick with that for a few weeks sometimes and then just fall off and guess. But it really depends. Also, like during season I don't worry about it as much because I know I need to just eat when I feel like I need to eat.
Is there someone like on the athletic staff that helps players with nutrition or provides plans or anything?
We do not have anybody that works with us with nutrition.
Do you know if there's anyone like with like different sports, or is it?
There might be with like football. I'm not sure. I know like we just made the transition to D1, and a lot of bigger D1 schools, I mean, if you look at any of your SEC schools, they're gonna have, every team has a nutritionist that meal plans out the wazoo, but we don't have anyone as of right now.
Do you have any idea like what the general carbohydrate recommendation for someone playing your sport would be?
I probably should, but I'm not positive.
Okay, well, based on my book, it's 6 to 8 grams per kilogram of body weight a day. Do you think that you achieve that, or?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say if I went over the top with any of my macros, it would probably be carbs.
It's probably a good thing. So how important is nutrition to you personally?
I would like to think it's very important. I probably don't pay attention to it as much as I would like to right now, just because sometimes it's hard and I get busy and I just have to throw stuff together. But I mean, it is important to me. Like, I definitely am very conscious about what I do eat.
Okay. What are some challenges? I know you mentioned that it's hard because you're busy and stuff. But what are some challenges that you face as a student athlete in eating and making sure you get enough to eat because you're busy not only with school but also practices and games and traveling and stuff like that?
I would honestly say time is the biggest lack of time. Like, for example, yesterday I had class from 9 to 2, and then I had to go straight to practice, and we had weights in practice. So I got out of practice around like 6:30ish, and got home about 7, and then had a test this morning and our 6 a.m. So I was going to study for that and didn't want to be out too late. So I just like made a smoothie really quickly and left to go do that. So sometimes I think that's the biggest struggle is just, and then that makes me not eat as good sometimes because I'll be at school and I'll be like, oh, I have like 30 minutes, let's go grab something from somewhere.
I know that happens for me, and I don't play a sport, so that's not really as big of a deal for me, I guess. So where does most of your food come from? Where do you get most of your food?
Typically Walmart.
Yeah.
I love to go to Publix, but sometimes I just can't do the prices of Publix. I leave there and spend way too much.
It's expensive.
But so I would say Walmart for sure.
Is there anything like, does the school provide any food for you or anything?
When we are gone, they'll provide stuff on game days, and obviously when like we go to away games, like all our food comes from them.
Okay.
So it feels like sometimes during like fall season, like I'm just getting my food from them pretty much. But
so like when you're going away, what is something that they typically give you? What kind of food would that be?
Well, we go to like for breakfast and stuff, we'll go to First Watch.
Okay.
Like, so it's usually like pretty quality food.
Yeah.
It depends on just where we are. They like to kind of change it up and like go places that are unique to the place, like to the area that we're in.
Yeah, that's fun.
But when when we play at home, we'll have like pre-game meals from specific places.
Okay. Well, that was something I was going to ask next, but the pregame meal is very important. Helps delay fatigue and hopefully avoids gastrointestinal distress. So I know a lot of athletes eat a specific meal and they keep it the same before every event that they participate in. Do you have like a particular pregame meal to go to, or is it just kind of whatever the team does? Or
the past, I think all 3 years that I've been here, we've had it catered from a place called Legends, and it's like a steakhouse kind of, I don't know, kind of like a Logan's or something like that. And they'll give us like options of what we can eat, and I mean it's like your meats and then just like rice, mashed potatoes, green beans, just something like that. And I always get chicken, rice. I get chicken, mashed potatoes, and green beans, and that's what I had before every home game this year.
Yeah.
And like they give us chances to change it if you get tired of it, but
that's good.
sometimes you like to become a creature of habit during season, and you're like, I gotta eat what I've been eating the entire time.
I understand that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
If you change it up, you may have unexpected effects.
Mm-hmm.
How early before the game would you say that starts?
We have pre-game meals 4 hours before the game.
4 hours. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can you recall any times when you've been playing and like nutrition has noticeably affected your performance, either negatively or positively, where you've been like, wow, I really should have ate better before this game, or should have eaten something else?
Well, sometimes that'll happen. I mean, it's happened a few times even this season. Not as much when we're at home, but when we're away, we're getting just a bunch of different food. I feel like for pre-games, usually away, we stick a lot with like sandwiches and stuff, but a few times I would get sandwiches that were like, I don't know, really heavy, kind of greasy, a lot of cheese,
a lot of fat, and
those always made me feel just, and
sluggish.
I have no willpower, so I'm going to eat the entire thing, and if it's 4 hours before a game, I'm like, I'm going to get hungry, so I have to eat the entire thing.
Some would argue that takes a lot of willpower. I don't know.
Yeah, and I have none. So I think anything that's greasy,
Yeah.
is just,
Kind of
that
sets you up
affects
for a
me.
bad
Mhm.
performance. Okay. Are there any like particular foods or food groups you try to include or avoid in your diet?
I mean, I guess like everybody, I try to avoid sweets as much as possible. I love chocolate, but right now I'm trying really hard to, if I'm gonna have a sweet, I'm gonna have it like once a day. But as far as
Yeah.
like including, I really try my best to make sure that I don't focus too hard on like specific things, just trying to get a balance. What I feel like is enough of everything each day, you know.
What is a typical, this may be hard to answer, but what does a typical day of eating look like for you?
I don't actually think that's too hard to answer.
No?
Typically in the mornings, I will have eggs and oatmeal.
Okay.
And like, I'll have like peanut butter and
Yeah.
cinnamon in my oatmeal. And then for lunch is usually a little bit like quicker. Sometimes I'll do a sandwich. Recently, I've got these like veggie burgers that I've just recently fell in love with, and I'll just like grill a veggie burger and do some sauteed vegetables. And then for dinner is usually where I splurge a bit more. And I mean, I'll have a variety of stuff for dinner, but I usually make sure I have like some sort of meat. I usually do just rice and then some sort of vegetable.
All right, well, I appreciate your time and you answering my questions. Just to wrap this up, this has been Haley Yarber from UNA, and I hope that you've learned a lot about something that, student athletes, some of the challenges they face trying to get enough food and, making sure they maintain their energy intake. So thank you for watching, and hopefully to all the people that will not watch this, you enjoyed this video.